G'day all and welcome to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'm Nat and this is my Knackers Yard, and this is RatBoy, who has a new ass. Ow, and I've got a sore head because I've just banged it on my garage. Yeah, it's getting there. I'm still not convinced. On the colour wise, I was outvoted by my family, mostly my kids, who want it to look like Bumblebee, so that's why the bright yellow and black is on there. The hugger has come out amazing, and I think makes it. I think that was a good call and a good shout, but it's getting there. I think it's a bit square, so I might have to see if I can round the edges off, which I mean repainting, blah 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 blah. The paint isn't great, so that's going to need some more work as well, but I think the structure actually works quite well. But at the moment it's functional. I say it's functional, I haven't plugged anything in, but you know, the concept is there or thereabouts, I think. But I think it looks quite good. I'm quite happy with it, and more importantly it's solid, which was my principal concern, that it was all going to end up being a little bit flimsy. But what am I going to do? Why is the bike bondaged up to the point where I've had to slide my garage door down and I keep banging my sodding head? Today what I want to do is my clip-ons and just chuck them on. Now height and everything else I've no idea. It is wedged up a little bit low at the front, so what I'm going to do, or what I plan to do, and I've slung it up, it's on its rear stand with the front wheel just off the ground. What I want to do is loosen everything off, transfer everything across, put the that's the wrong one, but you get the idea. Put the clip-ons on, transfer the stuff over and clip that on under the bracket. That's the plan anyway, and then nip everything back together and see how I get on. I do at some point want to take the top yoke off and give it a clean of paint, but I'm not going to do that now. I want to see whether or not this fundamentally works before I do anything else. If it doesn't work, if it looks a bit wanky, what I will do is, from the stuff that Mike passed on, there is a set of black bars there that will go on it quite nicely, I think, and they're proper rentals with the straightener as well, although so this rental as well. So yeah, first things first, is I'm going to drop the forks down, because I need them down below the top yoke to get that on, so I need to make sure that I've got enough space for that. Now at the moment I need to jack the front up a little bit more just to give me a bit of playroom. I say jack, raise it up a little bit more just to give me a bit of playroom. Right, let's get on with it. Right, issue number one of probably many, the brake lines aren't long enough to drop it any further, so I'm just whipping the calipers off. It's nice and simple. I apologise if the light isn't great, but because I don't have, well, yeah, the only way I could think of doing this was to suspend it from the ceiling. That's where my beam is, so I'm a bit further back in the garage than I would like, and the light's not great. So I'm going to drop these calipers and then just try and, I've undone 1, 2, 3 on the side and 4, and it should just allow the forks to slide down. And obviously I don't want them to slide out, but just far enough that I can squeeze those clip-ons in. Now it's not going to drop out, because if anything the headlight doesn't fit through there, so it's going to drop at, you know, at most what, 6 inches, and only needs to drop about 3 or 4. Right, let's get on with it. Right, so there we go. I've dropped the wheel, well, pretty much as far as it's going to go. Drop the wheel, drop the forks as far as they go, just enough space that I could snuggle the clip-ons in behind them. They're nice and loose at the moment because I don't know what I'm doing with them as yet. Well, I very rarely know what I'm doing, but specifically I don't know yet. I'm going to try now and raise them back up. All of this would have been a damn sight easier if I took the wheel off, but I am where I am. I'm just going to try and, I'm going to clean these off a little bit while I've got access to them, because that's where the clips routinely go, so you'd be daft not to do it while you've got access. So I'll give them a bit of a clean, it'll help them slide in as well, and then just try and raise it and lift it back up. Alright, so there we go, that's in now, pretty much perfect. That's mother's and a quick whack on a moped on top of a angle grinder. I now keep 2 angle grinders going, so I found an old one in the garage. So I've got one that's got no guard on it or anything else, that I just purely and simply use for polishing, and that one that I use for cutting with the guard on. I kept swapping between cutting and polishing, and stupidly was cutting without the guard on. So I've now fixed that so that I don't hurt myself. I'm less likely to hurt myself. Right, let's try and get these buggers raised. Okay, that was far from simple. Getting them back up was a bastard. Trying to get them to line up back with the holes and shoot back up. In the end, I used the weight of the bike to do it. So you can see front forks have got a pair of gloves on to protect them from the floor. I've effectively dropped it to the floor and then used the weight of the bike whilst levelling them up to get them there or thereabouts. That was a bitch. That was an absolute bitch. Right, now I need to raise it, get that wheel back on. I'm knackered. And there we go. That has taken a bloody long time to get to a start state, really. Yeah, that's an arse ache. I haven't attached the brakes yet because I don't think the lines are going to be long enough to be able to do up. However, going to drop, you know, a good 8 inches there, so they will fit in their resting state. So what next job is to first of all have a cup of tea and a break and a pee, because that fucking near killed me, that. Then I'm going to start on what should be the simpler side, i.e. the clutch side. Undo, tear off, maybe have to cut off, and drop them onto the new bar, which is nice and loose because I don't know where it's what angle it's going to go at yet. The only crucial element is that on full lock it doesn't touch the tank, because that's an MOT fail. Well, wrong, that's a safety fail. Yeah. Oh, fucking hell. Right, brake, pee, back. Okay, so that's one down. That was really simple, just straight on, straight off. There is a locating hole in this for the switchgear. I have drilled a hole. I've complained before about people just cutting them off and whatever, so I have drilled a hole and done it properly. The pin inside is a bit iffy in there, so what I have done also is wrap some tape around as well, so it's kind of double there. Right, so that's one down, and it doesn't. I'm still a little bit away from the tank, which is fine. I could get it closer, but that will do for now. Right, let's try and do the same for t'other side. And t'other side done. Actually, remarkably simple process. The most difficult bit, I think, is getting them equal, getting them even. So they can't come back far enough to hit the tank. They need to be a little bit further forward. And then it's really just a case of sit on it and fettle till it seems about right. I found using a mark there on the yoke was the best way of evening him up on both sides, but it's completely and utterly changed the poise of that bike. Yeah, and it's now looking suitably different. I think that back doesn't look quite so weird. It does look odd, it's supposed to, but I think it goes with it a lot better now. The poise is so much better. Right, what I would really like to do is to get that back end wired up so that I can take it for a bimble and see how it feels with that different poise. It is just so much lower. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'll put you on the stand and you can see a warm body on it, i.e. mine. Right, so there's you flipped up on a seat. I'm a little bit better at the back there, because it's not as secure as I would like, but it's really nice, quite comfortable. Yeah, happy with that. Just need to secure the tank a little bit and try it up and down the road. I want to check those levers are comfortable height. They feel it at the moment, but you never tell until you're. But I'm happy with that. I am very happy with that. Right. Let's get that back end wired up, I think, and then potentially take it for a quick boogie. Take 2 with some fuel in it. Which would help.
Something wrong with that vacuum. Why is that not pulling? It's just spat the exhaust off. I've never done that before. Ow, ow, ow. Weirdly enough, that's chuffing hot. I've restricted the exhaust too much, it's just spat it off. That's a first. Right, I'm going to unrestrict that a little bit, I think. Again, shall we? I've never had that happen before. So I've opened the baffle on the exhaust a bit more, it's going to be a bit louder. But it now can breathe. I tried to make it quieter and I just choked it out. Lovely, really comfortable riding conditions actually. Nice and fast. I'll do a quick cabby around the block. I won't go far because I've got nothing of fuel more there. Brake's pretty good. This front one needs bleeding. scattering stuff.
So I'm pretty sure that's a cam belt rattle going on there, so I'm gonna have to do something about that. I don't know if it's automatic on this or manual. I'll have to check the books, but it is. I'm gonna be careful because it's warm. It is right between carb 2 and 3 on the engine side. You can see the darkness there. Yeah. I've never blown an exhaust off before. My fault, I'd over restricted it, trying to keep the noise down, and I'd closed the baffle on the inside just too much, so that's why it was struggling. It just didn't have airflow. So yeah, lesson learnt, don't over restrict. I was kind of lucky I didn't damage my car or something else with that, I suppose, with the exhaust flying off. But hey, that's the first time for everything, hopefully a last time. That fan isn't coming on, which probably means it's the thermostat, which means that I should try and replace the thermostat. I should. What I'll probably do is just put a switch up somewhere, probably here, for the fan, which is a bit irritating, but it's a RatBoy, what do you expect? I might have a look, see how much thermostats are actually first before I do that. But, you know, this is supposed to be a cheapy project, so there's no point in me kicking the tits out of it. What next? Forks are staying dry, which is nice. So they may not need replacing, which I have been concerned about. I do want to have a dig around the electrics, because there's all sorts of kecks just, you know, hanging about. I think I probably need to do that next, which would be a bit dull but necessary. I'm going to have to start thinking about what I'm going to do with this tank, whether or not I go for, yeah, you can see how bad that paint is there, whether or not I go for concealing my misdemeanors by going black all over, which is the simplest way to do it, or whether or not I go more yellow. I don't know yet. I'd love to do it yellow, but frankly it's just hard. Yeah. Oh, my feet are sweating. Yeah. No, so overall, yeah, quite happy. Quite happy, very happy. I've got a feeling I'm going to go black, because it just hides bits and pieces like gaps, because you've got black on black and it's just recess. And it'll make it a damn sight easier to sort this as well, just to finish that off nicely. I do have a bit of an angle when that goes, so I probably need to find a way of holding and tilting this forward a bit. I do have a couple of brackets, and I'll have a bit of a think on how to do that as well. But I don't think that back end's actually that bad. I quite like it, particularly with that awesome hugger under it. I haven't been talking about the front mudguard. It looks crap, and I think the bike looks better without it, frankly, but we'll see. Right, that's me for now. I wasn't expecting to do any recording today or this weekend. We were going to be going away for our wedding anniversary, which has been completely and utterly kiboshed by the fact that my missus and 2 of my kids are now isolating because they've had contact with people with COVID. Arse, and it's completely destroyed our plans for the weekend. But bright side for you is it means I'm probably going to do a bit more filming. So, swings and roundabouts. One, immensely pissed off Nat and pissed off Mrs. and the kids are really annoyed because they were looking forward to staying at the grandparents' and to go to Bath Racecourse and watch the horses. But none of that's happening now. Arse. Right, thanks very much all. I will catch you later. Cheers.